There's a city where people live above the limit of human survival. A place so high, your body begins fighting itself the moment you arrive. And yet, tens of thousands of people call this mountain home. Not for tourism, not for adventure, for something buried underneath the ice. What they built up here became one of the strangest cities on Earth. A place with no law, no proper roads, no systems most humans need to stay alive. And yet, life doesn't just survive here, it thrives. People raise children here, build homes here, fall in love here, in a place that should not exist. But the deeper you go into this city, the darker the story gets. Because behind the thin air and the freezing cold is a secret this mountain has been keeping from the rest of the world. And when you hear it, you'll never look at the things you own the same way again. This is the story of the highest city on Earth.
Our hands are so affected by working in the mines.
I accidentally hit myself with a rock while trying to separate the mineral from the gold. So you're using a stone to crush, and then suddenly, bam, injuries, especially on this side when you're crushing.
If you just look at La Rinconada today, it feels like a place humans were never supposed to be. And in a way, they weren't. This city sits at 5,100 meters above sea level. That's over 16,700 feet. The highest permanent human settlement on Earth. No other city comes close. Not in China, not in India, nowhere. And at that height, the air changes everything. Every breath here gives your body half the oxygen it needs. Half. Your blood thickens, your head pounds, your heart races just from walking down the street. Scientists have said for years that permanent human life above 5,000 meters is impossible. The people of La Rinconada didn't get that memo, but the mountain makes them pay for it every single day. Snow falls here in every season, and the wind that comes off that glacier, you feel it like a wall. There's no running water in La Rinconada, no sewage system, no hospital. Everything, food, fuel, medicine, water, comes up by truck. 3 miles of winding mountain road, roads covered in ice, roads that crumble into 1,000-foot drops. That's the only way in, and the only way out. Now here's what the mountain is quietly doing to everyone who stays. This is what I call the high-altitude war. Because that's exactly what it is. When your body can't get enough oxygen, it panics. It does the only thing it knows. It starts producing more red blood cells, more and more, far beyond what's healthy. In Lima, at sea level, healthy blood is about 40% red blood cells. Up here in La Rinconada, researchers measure people at 80%. That blood is not healthy blood. It's thick, it clogs, it strains the heart, it strains the brain. Doctors call it chronic mountain sickness, and 1 in every 4 people walking these streets has it. Red eyes, purple lips, purple hands. You see it everywhere. A Peruvian doctor who came here for the first time described walking down the main street. He said he couldn't go 10 steps without seeing it. Memory loss, headaches that never stop, dizziness that becomes permanent. Over time, heart complications, paralysis, death. The average life expectancy here is estimated at 30 to 35 years. 30. That's roughly half the life expectancy of the average Peruvian. And still, people come. Still, they stay. Which means whatever is bringing them here is more powerful than a mountain that is slowly killing them. It is. Under this mountain, there is gold, real gold, a lot of it. And in the year 2001, the price of gold starts to climb. Slowly at first, then faster. By 2009, the price has risen by 235%. That number changed everything. Because when gold prices rise, word spreads. And the people who hear it aren't rich people. They're farmers who lost their land, workers with no jobs, families with nothing left to lose, and one idea: climb the mountain, find the gold, change everything. And so they come. By 2009, the population of La Rinconada has grown by over 230%. A small, temporary mining camp turns into a real city, faster than anyone is ready for. No plans for housing, no plans for water, no plans for sewage. Nobody ever imagined a permanent city being built up here, but here it is, 50,000 people on the side of a frozen mountain. Now here's the part that stops most people. Most of the men who come here to mine the gold are not getting paid, not a salary, not a daily rate, not a single cent. They work for 30 days straight, every month, in freezing dark tunnels, breathing air that's already half empty, for 30 days. Nothing. Then, on the 31st day, they're allowed to carry out whatever ore they can lift on their own back. That's it. That's the payment. Whatever they can carry. On that one day, it has a name. They call it the Cachorreo, or what it really is, the zero-pay gamble. And here's the cruelest part. The ore the miners carry out on that one day might contain gold, or it might contain absolutely nothing, because on that day, the single day a miner has worked an entire month to reach, they're often sent to the emptiest tunnels in the mountain, the sections where the veins have already run dry, where there's nothing left. One miner says it plainly. He says, "The problem is, on the day that matters, they always send us where there's nothing to find. Work 30 days for free, get nothing, come back, do it again." And yet, when the Peruvian government once tried to replace the Cachorreo with a normal monthly salary, the miners voted against it, loudly, overwhelmingly. Why? Because on a good Cachorreo day, when the veins are full and luck is running, a miner can carry out more gold in 1 hour than a full month's salary would ever give him. That's the trap. It's the same psychology as a lottery. Most people lose every single time. But the winners change their lives. And so tens of thousands of men keep buying the ticket, month after month, year after year, working for nothing, hoping for everything. But here's something you don't expect to find inside all of this. Inside the cold, the thin air, the zero-pay system, there is a real town. Kids playing soccer in muddy streets. Women selling hot soup from carts in the cold morning air. An internet cafe. A market with tropical fruit brought up from below. There is a school. The teacher at that school says the parents built most of the classrooms themselves because the government never came. He says, "The state completely forgot us, so we built it ourselves." But the miners aren't the only ones surviving up here. There's a group of people the mountain pushes to its surface. People who never go into the tunnels. People searching for whatever the rock leaves behind. And their story is one of the most powerful things about La Rinconada. Women are not allowed inside the mines, not by a written rule, by something much older than that. The miners here believe this mountain is female. They call it by a Quechua name, Awicha. It means grandmother, and somewhere deep inside the tunnels, there is said to be a spirit, a female spirit. The miners call her La Gringa. She appears to lucky miners in their dreams. She guides them to the richest veins, the deepest gold. But La Gringa is jealous. If a real woman enters the mine, she takes the gold back. She seals the veins, leaves the tunnels empty, so women are kept out. Not by law, by belief. And the surface of the mountain is all they get.
Con gusto. ¿Cuántos años tú trabajas aquí?
Unos 4 años, ¿no?
4 años?
¿Cuántas horas diariamente hoy trabajas, madre?
8 horas.
Sí.
8 hours, wow. 8 horas. Madre, ¿has encontrado hoy día algo? ¿Esa mineral?
No he encontrado.
Wow, no,
Chispits,
nada. Es que no
como
es diario.
3 chispits no me he encontrado.
Nothing big. Wow.
Ikaw yung lumaki.
Así que no me sé.
Besito naman mira.
I see. I saw the gold.
Just be.
And how much would this be?
¿Cuánto sería, mami, si usted?
Es que
en soles.
si será un fósforo.
Nada, será por unos 10, 20 centavos. Eso tiene que juntar. ¿Tiene hijos?
Sí.
¿Cuántos hijos tiene madre?
¿Sí?
4.
Sí, sí tiene hijos, 4 hijos. Ajá.
These women have a name, Pallaqueras, and they are out here at all hours. Morning, night, it doesn't stop. They bang on broken rock with small hammers. They sort through the waste piles the miners leave behind, searching for tiny pieces of ore, flecks of gold, too small for anyone else to bother with. In this wind, in this cold, at the foot of that glacier, breathing half-empty air. Many of the Pallaqueras here are widows. Their husbands are gone. Mining accidents, cave-ins, violence, and now they're alone on this mountain, trying to survive on whatever scraps the rock gives them. Most of them came from places where there was nothing left. No work, no food, no future. So they climbed up here. But even in the scraps and the cold, there's something ancient and alive in these women. The Pallaqueras take a portion of what little they earn, and they buy offerings, food, coca leaves, flowers, gifts for the mountain, prayers for good fortune. Because in the Quechua world, the world that still lives under all the chaos of La Rinconada, you don't take without giving back. That's the ancient law. They call it Aini, reciprocity. You give to the earth gives to you, the miners carry it too. Their cheeks are always full of coca leaves, not as a drug, as survival. Andean people have used coca leaves for thousands of years, at 5,100 meters above sea level. They suppress hunger, fight exhaustion, help the body cope with the altitude. They aren't a habit, they are medicine. The food in these streets is real Andean food. Hot soups, thick stews, designed to warm you from the inside in a place where the outside is always trying to freeze you. These aren't broken people. These are people from one of the oldest, most resilient cultures on Earth. A culture that survived the Inca Empire, Spanish colonization, poverty, and erasure. A culture that knows how to find meaning in a hard place. And yet, not every woman who arrives in La Rinconada arrives with freedom. Between 100 and 300 bars operate in this town. Most of them are not just bars. Young women, some of them girls, are working inside. Not work they chose, work they were tricked into. They came answering real-looking job ads, shop work, cleaning, cooking. They arrived on this mountain. Their identity papers were taken, and they were told what they were really there for. Peruvian police estimate that between 1,500 and 4,000 miners are being sexually exploited in La Rinconada right now. In 2019 alone, authorities rescued 68 trafficking victims from this town, and the police force protecting these 50,000 people? 3 officers, 3, for a city of 50,000, living in a place they call La Ciudad Sin Ley, the lawless city of Peru. There's something in the air here. You can't see it, but it's in every breath taken on this mountain. Mercury vapor, and it's slowly poisoning everyone who lives here. Here's how gold is extracted in La Rinconada. Miners bring ore out of the mountain, rock full of tiny flecks of gold mixed in with everything else. To pull the gold out, they use mercury. Mercury bonds to gold at a molecular level. Then they burn the mercury off. The gold is left behind. It works, and it kills. Because when you burn mercury, it doesn't disappear. It rises into the air. It drifts over the town. It settles onto the glacier above. It seeps into the streams, into the soil, into the drinking water. There are at least 50 processing shops in La Rinconada. Every single one burns mercury. Every single day. The miners handle it with bare hands. The children playing in these streets breathe it. And there is not one air quality monitor in this entire town, not one. What does mercury do to a human body? It attacks the nervous system, memory loss, tremors, loss of coordination. In children, permanent developmental damage. In adults, paralysis, organ failure, death. In 2019, Greenpeace and a team of researchers come to this region. They test the soil, the water, the air, even the glacier. What they find is worse than anyone expected. Mercury everywhere, in the streams, in the earth, in the rain that falls on this mountain. The rain here is acidic, contaminated with mercury, as it comes down from the sky. Miners describe a thin, toxic film left on their rooftops after every storm. The Coata River flows south from La Rinconada, all the way to Lake Titicaca. It carries everything with it. The mercury, the cyanide, the waste, the trash. In 2018, Peru's Ministry of Health tests a town 40 kilometers downstream. More than 83% of every person tested has heavy metals in their body. Not miners, not people who work in the gold industry, regular farmers, children, elderly people 40 kilometers away. And the glacier, La Bella Dormiente, the Sleeping Beauty, is melting, not just from climate change, from the heat and pollution rising from the mountain every single day. The last clean water source these people have is disappearing in front of them. Now here's what happens when there is no law. In the last 6 years, 59 homicides are recorded in La Rinconada. In 2021 alone, 18 people murdered. In 2019, 7 miners are found inside a tunnel. Each one has a bullet in their head. There are no banks here, so after a miner sells his gold, he walks out with all his cash in hand, in a city with 3 police officers and no law. Robberies happen daily. Bodies are dumped in mine shafts, left in garbage piles, sometimes not found for weeks. The criminal networks running through this town are not small. They control which miners work which tunnels. They control where the gold goes. They run the trafficking networks. They protect the bars. And they operate here almost completely untouched, because the Peruvian state has essentially abandoned La Rinconada. Peru's own military analysts write a report about this. And the phrase they use, I keep thinking about it. They call it a liberated zone, a place where the state has lost all capacity to control public order, a place no longer fully part of Peru, a liberated zone on a frozen mountain, full of 50,000 people the law forgot. And here's what every person in this town is digging for. What makes all of it, the poison, the crime, the exploitation, possible. Gold. And that gold is not staying on this mountain. Think about the last piece of gold you touched. A ring, a necklace, the phone in your pocket. You don't know where it came from. Nobody told you. And the system is designed so that nobody ever has to. Here's how gold leaves La Rinconada. A miner carries ore out of the mountain on his one payment day, takes it to one of the 50 processing shops in town. Mercury pulls the gold out. He sells it, usually for cash. Then it moves down the mountain to Juliaca, the nearest city. From Juliaca, it often crosses into Bolivia. In Bolivia, it enters a global distribution network. It changes hands. It mixes with legally sourced gold. And by the time it arrives at a major refinery, it's completely untraceable, clean, legal, certified. One of the world's largest gold suppliers, a Swiss company called Metalor Technologies. Metalor supplies gold to Apple, to Samsung, to some of the largest companies on Earth. Roughly 28% of Peru's gold comes from illegal sources. That gold is in smartphones, in laptops, in wedding rings, in financial markets, the starvation wages of the Cachorreo, the mercury in those streams, the trafficked women in those bars, The bodies in those tunnels, they're all somewhere inside the products the wealthiest people on Earth use every single day. And almost none of those people know, because the gold that comes down this mountain leaves no fingerprints.